Okay, get this. What if a warning written 1,500 years ago wasn't actually meant for its own time, but for ours? Today, we are digging into a message from a lost civilization, a prophecy that was hidden in faded ink and seems to describe our digital world with, honestly, some pretty chilling accuracy.
I know, it sounds impossible, right? But that's the exact question that haunted the researchers who finally unlocked the secrets of this thing. I mean, how could someone from the distant past have seen a future they couldn't even begin to comprehend? Well, let's find out.
So our story starts right here, with this, an Axumite scroll from 5th century Ethiopia. And for over 1,500 years, everyone just thought it was a fragile, totally blank piece of parchment. Whatever secrets it held, they were just gone, faded into silence. But, of course, the story doesn't end there. You see, for centuries, the real problem wasn't about translating it. It was about seeing it in the first place. I mean, how do you read a message that is, for all intents and purposes, completely invisible?
And this is really the key part. The message wasn't just faded. It was, chemically speaking, gone. The compounds in the ancient ink had degraded so completely that our eyes just couldn't see them anymore. The scroll was basically a ghost.
So, how do you read a ghost? For centuries, the answer was simple. You don't. But then, modern technology came along and offered a whole new possibility. What if you could build a machine that can see what we can't? A machine that could, essentially, look back in time and pull that ink right out of its chemical grave.
And this is the breakthrough. Look at this. On the left, that's what we see with our own eyes. Basically nothing. But on the right, that's what a new kind of AI sees. It uses something called hyperspectral imaging to pick up on the absolute faintest chemical traces of the original ink, and it makes the lost text glow. It's pretty much technological magic.
So, how does this magic actually work? Well, it's this really cool three-step process. First, the scanner hits the scroll with hundreds of different light frequencies, way more than we can see. Then, an AI sifts through all that data, and it's basically hunting for the specific chemical fingerprint of the old ink. And finally, and this part is just incredible, the system digitally rebuilds the words that were lost letter by letter.
So, after all that incredible technology, all that work, what did they actually find? Was it a record of grain sales? A forgotten prayer? Nope. What came out of all that digital noise was a vision. And honestly, it was scarily on point for our time.
Okay, listen to this. The first line they could read was, "A time will come when children of clay speak to metal." Children of clay, I mean, that's us, that's humanity. And speaking to metal, it's almost impossible not to think of us talking to our phones, our computers, our smart speakers.
But the vision keeps going, and this is where it gets really deep. It says, "And knowledge will grow faster than human wisdom." Just let that sink in for a second. It's not just about having more information. It's about a gap, this dangerous imbalance between what we know and what we truly understand.
And then you get the final piece of this prophecy, a line that I swear could have been written yesterday. They will build mirrors that show every man the world he wants to see. That's such a clear warning, right? About technology that doesn't show us what's real, but just reflects back what we want to believe.
So, you see, these weren't just a few random, spooky phrases. When you put them all together, they form this powerful, coherent warning about progress itself. And it's a warning that researchers have actually given a name to. They're calling it the Axumite warning. And it's really the whole point of the scroll. The idea is that a civilization is doomed to fail when its tech, its knowledge, gets way ahead of its wisdom and its virtue. Basically, if our power grows but our ethics and our empathy don't, we're heading straight for a collapse.
So this warning really sets up this fundamental conflict. On one side, you've got knowledge, data, processing power, speed. And on the other side, you have virtue, things like wisdom, empathy, ethics. The prophecy's big warning is that we've become obsessed with the first column, and we're totally neglecting the second.
Okay, so let's talk about those mirrors. How does that ancient idea actually apply to our world today? I mean, where are these things that show every person only the world they want to see?
Well, the thing is, they're everywhere. Just look around. Our personalized news feeds, our social media echo chambers, all those algorithmic bubbles that basically build our reality for us. These technologies are designed, literally designed, to show us more of what we already like, to reinforce what we already believe.
And this gets to the monk's final, and honestly most devastating point. Without wisdom, without a shared sense of what's right, these mirrors don't bring us together. They do the opposite. They shatter society into a million different conflicting realities. They drive us apart.
Which brings us right back to where we started, to that central, haunting question from a monk 1,500 years ago. A question that was brought back to life by a machine he never could have dreamed of. Has our knowledge finally, truly outpaced our virtue? And if it has, what on earth do we do now?